Hi everyone, today we are on the cake page of 30 Days of Creativity. Now I realised that in Johanna's tutorial she drew small cakes, and we even have a guideline for her here showing how to draw a smallish cake. Now what I wanted to do was to fill this whole space with one large cake. I thought it would be easier to just draw one because as you know, I'm not a confident drawer, so I thought just doing one would be a bit easier for me to cope with. And I just thought it would be fun to have something a little bit bigger. Now what I've got to help me is this, I think it's called a set square. My kids always get them in their geometry sets for school and they never use them. So I've got a ton of them in my drawer because I buy a set with a compass, protractor and things like that. They take all that out and they never use these. And I thought it would get us a nice corner for the cakes. Now, obviously these are slightly rounded on the corners, but what I thought was I would try and get it nice and straight to start with, and then when I go over it in pen I'll make it a little bit more rounded. So I'm trying to think about what size to make it. I obviously need to leave room for the cake stand at the bottom. I don't know how much you can see, so what I'm going to do is probably go about here. I want it to be straight with the page. I'm going to push my set square into the corner of the paper. I don't know if you can see completely, but basically I'm going to line the bottom of the set square up with the very bottom of the page, and I'm just going to draw a really light line across here. Now I know that is parallel with the page. It doesn't look it though. I'm going to measure it just to be sure. It'd be really annoying if I draw a whole cake and it ends up being wonky. So let's just measure. So that bit of the line, you probably can't really see, is 7 centimetres and 1 dash, and that bit of the line is much shorter. So what I'm actually going to do is measure up from the bottom of here, 7 centimetres up from the bottom of the page, and then 7 centimetres up on this side, and then draw a line across. Just get a bigger ruler. My pretty pink ruler. Everyone used to keep pinching my ruler, so I got myself a pink one so no one would pinch it. Didn't work, still ends up on everybody else's desk. It's quite hard to get that lined up when I can't flatten my book. But I think that is a fairly straight line there. It's very messy. You can see I've gone all squiggly. We can rub all that out at the end. So I'm thinking my cake stand that'll be the top of my cake stand somewhere there. Obviously we've got these cakes in the way, so our top tier is going to be here. So we need to sort of, I'm thinking I might draw a line down there as well, just so that I know where my cake is going to be. So I need to measure that as well. So I'm going to measure up here, use my big ruler this time. So I'm going to go out 4 inches from the top. I find if I measure it right at the top of the page, I can make sure it's parallel. And then I'm going to do the same at the bottom. You can't see, sorry, 4 inches across into the bottom, and draw a line all the way down the page. That's quite a long way in, but that's okay. There we go. That's a bit too far in, isn't it? It also doesn't look parallel. No, it's not quite. That bit works. That bit not full. I don't understand. But I'm going to make it about 3.5. I'm making a bit of a mess on my book, aren't I? Do 3, it's too much. So we'll do about there. Let's do it in centimetres. I'll be able to get a more accurate reading. That one is just over 8. So if we do 8.5 there. 8.5 at the bottom, which you can't see. Draw the line down. We're in a bit more now. So our cake is going to be within this section here. Well, our cake stand can come below slightly. I'm just going to rub out that line so I don't get muddled and confused. Right, let's get started. I've procrastinated enough, haven't I? So this line's going to be our cake stand. So we want to do, I think I'll do the tiers first, and then I'll think about how bulky my cake stand needs to be to cope with those tiers of cake. you see what I mean? I shall zoom in a little bit. I think you can see from there, that's probably it. So I'm going to take my set square now and draw my first tier. Now this is going to be quite big because it's the bottom one, so we could probably do 3 or even more. So I'm going to place, so I could go all the way out to this corner here where we've drawn. So I'm thinking about how sort of high it's going to be. I'm thinking quite sort of a 4 centimetre, which is about 1.5 inches roughly, maybe like that, quite big. And I shall measure again from over here. I'm gonna not go too far into the spine because it'd be difficult for me to colour, etc. So across here, like that, and down. Hang on, let me measure that. That is 9.6. So I'll go do a little line here and join that down. So that's our first tier, like that. Doesn't look exactly straight to me. Never mind, I'm going to stop obsessing with it being too straight. So how far in do we want to come with our next tier, do we think? I reckon a couple of centimetres in each side. So there's 2 centimetres there. And there's 2 centimetres there. Okay, and what sort of height? About the same, I would say. What do you reckon? So there's about 4. So we go up 4 roughly here, and we can use our set square like this. We put it along the straight edge there, and we can draw. Oh, we need to start. Make sure we start on 0, and draw our 4 centimetres up there. We can do the same on the other side by going that way, and then draw them up, join them up. We can use it as a ruler as well, which is quite handy. So there's our next tier. It still looks a bit wibbly wobbly to me, but never mind. And we'll do a final tier, I think, before putting something on the top. You see, it's not parallel with that line, that one, but this one is. I'm going to do my little tricks and line that up, pull it across. No, that's not straight. Should be more like that. Okay, and the final tier, I think it should be the same height. So we had a 4 centimetre height, and we went 2 centimetres in. Be quite small, maybe it wouldn't be quite so high. So we take 2 in and 2 in. That's actually really tiny, isn't it? I don't think you would have a tier that small, would you? Maybe you've come in too far with this one. I'm looking at Johanna's. She hasn't come in that far, and these haven't got. These haven't even come in at all. Maybe we'll put some things on the top instead of doing an extra tier. I'm having a look. Not obviously brilliant at drawing, so I'm a bit nervous about doing that. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just do a centimetre in instead, and draw another tier coming up that way. So put that across where we've done already, and do a 4 centimetre up there, and same here. Whoops. Join them up. Okay. Now I need to think about these drizzle toppings. I don't know how good I am at doing that, and I'm thinking, is that what I want in my cake? Do I want drizzles? Do I want cream? What sort of toppings do I want? Some of these have drizzle. Looking at these down here, some of them have drizzle, some of them just have a little layer of cream in between them. And actually these different tiers wouldn't have cream between them. It's more like a wedding cake, isn't it? So I'm thinking, what sort of design would we have on this cake? I think it would have like complete fondant icing all over it, really, and maybe then a design. don't think it would even, I don't even want to drizzle it on the top. I think I might draw some of these circles. You know, I think having circle template and drawing circles like sweets on each layer would be rather nice. So I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to stop the video and go and find it. So here it is. So some of these are really big, but at the bottom we've got some really little ones that we can use to sort of, I'm thinking this sort of size. They've got numbers on. I would say number 6. And draw these. And obviously, if you're good with freehand, you can just draw them yourself. But I am not, so I like the template just to help me draw those all the way. Oops, all the way along. Oh, too high. They're not touching the top of the cake. Have to redraw those. So try and make sure you can see the base of the cake through your template just a little bit, and then you'll get them on. I like colouring circles, so for me that's better, do you see? And I think at the bottom we might want a bit of a bigger one. I'm going with number 10. They've got sizes on, which is quite handy. And what I'm trying to do is just make sure I can see a little bit of the bottom line where the top of our cake's going to be before I draw it. It's not going to fit. Well, we'll draw it anyway. Okay, so these need redrawing, obviously, and then I would have to go over it in pen. I'm still worried about the fact that it doesn't look straight. It looks like it's leaning. It's almost, I almost feel like because I said it might lean, that it now is. Right, the cake stand, I can't fit this bit of the page in very well. But what you want to do is to have a look at what Johanna's done in here, this one. So I'm thinking we would want it to slightly come out slightly from the cake, so probably start there and there, okay, and use a straight edge to bring that in. But see, I want it fairly thick because it's holding up quite a big cake, isn't it? And then thinking about the bottom, now I have got these drawings underneath which you can't see, so it's gonna I need to make it quite short. I'm going to find the centre of it. It's actually exactly 9 centimetres, which is quite handy, so it's 4.5. I'm going to go 1 centimetre each side of the centre to make quite a sturdy base. I'm trying to make sure you can see just a little bit. Take that down and then probably just take it across a little bit, keep it really simple like that. I like it to be, I think I'd like it to be slightly rounded like that. Okay, it looks a bit thick and completely uneven, so what I will do is measure that. That's a centimetre, that's a centimetre. It's this end that's the problem, I think. It needs to come down more quickly like that. I still think this is way too thick though, so I'm actually going to make it only a centimetre there to there, a lot thinner like that. I think that's better. Let me rub that out and you can see what you think. I think that looks like it would still take the weight of the cake, but it's quite thin. Okay, I'm going to go away. I'm going to pen over this, erase it and show you what I've done. I'm going to redraw these and make them neater as well and try and make sure everything is straight. I'm not sure why I think it looks so squiff, so I'm going to try and sort that out as well, and I will be back. Okay, so I have penned over this. I haven't erased my pencil yet because it's still wet, but I thought I would just show you how it looks now. You can see it's still quite plain, I have been thinking about how to just decorate it a bit, because I think that if I leave it this plain and colour it in, it's going to be a big chore to colour these great big areas without having anything on there to sort of decorate, as it were. Now there's lots of things that Johanna has done which can give us some ideas. So she's got layers. You know, I could do like a layer of cream in the middle, which I think would break up each piece, so I could think about doing that. All this sort of swirly cream is quite pretty, but I think that's a bit beyond me. Just some sort of lines and layers like here, or even flowers. Another idea are these dots, which I could do with my tool again. So I could have a go at that and keep it quite simple. I think what I am going to do is just do a sort of layer of cream in the middle of each one. So I'm going to go roughly to the middle and just do a slightly wibbly wobbly line like that. And then I can colour that in a different colour and do that on each layer. Now you notice I haven't measured it this time. I want some of it to look a little bit less geometric. I don't know if you can see this bit. That's a bit overly wobbly. But you can see already how that has broken up the cakes a bit and made them look a bit less daunting for colouring. Of course the cream might squidge out the side a little bit, but we can't put that in. Now the cake stands are all, have got little bits, are broken up a little bit as well. None of them are quite as, well, one of them is this plain. I like having not a line across there, because I think it's all one piece, but then again it might be patterned in some way, or you could put a few lines across. Johanna's got stripes, all different sections, so we could you know, or loops to decorate that, something like that. Another idea, we could put something down at the bottom or on the top of the cake. We could do some more circles at the bottom, but I think that's a little bit too much the same, or just some sort of icing splodges. So I'm thinking about, I'm looking at Johanna's, so we could do just a sort of pattern like this. I realised the cake is drawn behind, which is a mistake. So like this, and then that's sort of like an icing pattern. And I find that quite easy to draw. Keeping it even could be a challenge. You notice I haven't penciled, I'm just going in for it with it, and it goes sort of beyond the cake. So those lines are obviously shouldn't really be there, but hey, that's that. So that's me. I'm going to erase that and colour it in, but I'm going to leave that with you as an idea. I might publish the picture at the end, but it depends. I probably won't. I'll probably leave that like that, and I might, once I finish it and colour it, it'll go onto Instagram. I'm not going to have time, I don't think, to get it all done and put up when I edit this video. So I just leave you with that image and some thoughts, really. Obviously, I'm not brilliant at drawing. Johanna does have a really close-up, well-explained cake demo. I know the one she did for this day was a little bit far away. It's not always easy to see exactly what she's doing, but there's one in her Inky, I think it's Christmas Inky Art School. She did a Christmas cake, so you could potentially follow that. And of course there's this as well, where she does the cake and then the cake stand. So you've got a few ideas there. So hopefully that's given you a few tools to use, which might just increase your confidence a little bit when you're drawing. So thank you so much for watching, and happy colouring.